The market rockets higher into the end of the quarter. Are the bears being left for dead? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in last week's video, we told you that the bulls should extend toward the 4100 to 4117 area on the ES, and that's exactly what we saw. In fact, the bulls were more than up to the task, pushing up towards 4140. Now the question is, have they overshot their target, and can they still pull back? I'll get into that in just 1 second, but first, if we're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, so one of the great values of getting the real-time market updates is that in my room on Friday, I updated the target based on the SPX as it did not have some of the noise the ES had, and we were looking for about 4100 to 4107 SPX, and they took it up to 4109. So we're still well within our parameters, but the bears need to step in now if we're going to stem the tide on this move up. So let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the 1-hour futures chart for the S&P 500. And down here off the low, you know we've been tracking this leading diagonal as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave move up. And so far, it's been pretty on point with what it's supposed to be, which is hard to do for diagonals because they're hard to track and often don't fully play out. But this one did, and we're up here completing this cycle for wave 1 as our primary count. So this would, in our primary count, complete wave 1 of C. And now what we would expect to see is a pretty strong pullback, because when diagonals complete, you see a strong pullback, and that pullback should target the 3990 to 3911 area in the futures, and that area is where we'd look for wave 2 support to hold. From there, we would look for a wave 1 higher. This would be wave 1 of 3. Then you'd have 2 of 3, and then we would start higher in 3 of 3 from there, and that overall cycle pattern would point us up toward the 4400 plus area. So that is what we're looking for as our primary path. We still think the pullback can happen, even though they overshot the target just a little bit. It's not too far or so far that we can't still get a wave 2 pullback. Now, if they continue to the upside, the first stop would be around 4120 on the SPX chart. And the reason for that, as we jump over to that chart, is that we have a potential of a big triangle playing out from last December. So in that case, instead of this being the A wave high that we have it labeled as now, we would move our A wave high over here, and that triangle would play out, okay, as A, B, C. Then we'd look for the D wave up as this one right here, and it should top around 4120 SPX. Okay, remember that's the SPX chart, which is about 4150 or so on the ES chart. And then we'd look for an E wave down that holds this low. And then we'd look for a pretty strong move higher in C from there. Now, in that case, okay, they can actually take this up over 4120. As long as they stay under this high, it's still valid for the triangle. But 4120 is our standard target for that. So as they start to push over 4120, we have to start to shift to the last possible scenario that we were going to talk about today, to the upside, and that is that we are already in a wave 3. So confirmation of that will be taking out this 4200 high that we struck back here. That would tell us we're already in wave 3 and going to head toward that 4300 region that we've been talking about since last October more directly. So in that case, we'll go back over to ES now. So in that scenario, guys, we would be looking at this being 1, 2, and wave 3 would target this 4204 area right here, which would invalidate the triangle as well. So wave 3 of 3 here, 4204. Then you get wave 4 of 3, 5 of 3 up towards 4275, and then a wave 4, and then a wave 5 up toward the 4300 plus area that we've been talking about since last October. So that is our third option here, is that they are already in a wave 3. I just have several issues with that count. 1, the MACD posture is too overbought. 2, this structure down here is not a full leading diagonal or a wave 1, so it's really ugly, especially on the SPX. And so I really have a hard time with us being in wave 3 already. So my primary count still is looking for the pullback. My secondary is that triangle. And then finally, if we are in this wave 3 of 3, we should shoot more directly toward the 4200 area. Over on the NASDAQ, okay, the NASDAQ gives us another reason to believe that we are topping in wave 1 of C here and should expect the pullback. The NASDAQ played almost perfect fib pinball off of the low. So if you look off of our low, we got a wave 1 up, a wave 2, The wave 3 hit the 1618 almost perfectly, overshot it by a couple points, pulled back to the 1.0 as it should for wave 4, and then shot up to the 2.0, which we got 13,258 up here for the wave 5, and it overshot it by a couple of points. And then it looks like they're trying to start a pullback here in the futures. Now, this pullback that we're looking for should target the 12,562 to 12,164 area in wave 2. Okay, if we get that and we can hold support, then we'd be looking higher in a 1-2 structure. So you get wave 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and then wave 3 of 3 up from there. And this overall cycle move, guys, would target the 14,000 to 15,000 area on the NASDAQ. It does project quite high, but that is how the structure is set up to play out. Now, for our secondary count on the NASDAQ, okay, it is possible, okay, that you could count this here as wave 1. This wave 3, it's possible you could count it as wave 1. This was wave 2, and we're already in wave 3 here to the upside. I don't think that's the case, but it is possible. It would be our secondary count. So if they're unable to hold this 13,250 to 13,350 area here, if they're unable to hold that, then it does look much more like we are in a wave 3 to the upside. Now, one other thing to keep in mind, guys, if we can't hold support to the low side, the 39.11 area on the ES futures and the 12,164 area on the NASDAQ futures, that could tell us that we are in that bigger C wave down that we've been talking about again since last October, that would point us toward the 5,000 to 7,000 region on the NASDAQ and the 2,500 to 2,900 region on the S&P futures. So those would be, if support breaks and they can break those lows from early March, then we would be looking for a much bigger sell-off in the downward direction, but I don't see anything impulsive to the downside just yet. So I do think it is a lower probability at this time. Guys, if you love the information I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It will take you right over to the website. Once you're there, check out our membership plans area. We have 2 incredible plans, and they both come with a 7-day free trial because I want you to get in there and make sure you love it and become part of our trading team before you ever spend a penny. You can cancel at any time. We also started our training program. Elliott Wave for Beginners is our first course. You get this with both subscriptions, and it's step-by-step videos on how I teach Elliott Wave to find all these numbers that we find pretty regularly. Again, that comes with both rooms, and in our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, all of your Elliott Wave questions answered, midday video where I go over exactly where we are in the counts and what to expect, as well as the training material you just saw. We trade the SPY and the QQQ, and we swing trade, which means our trades can last anywhere from a few days to a few months, so we don't trade quite as often as a day trading room does. However, if you are looking for day trading, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as individual stocks, day trading, and PT's reduced risk binary method that absolutely crushes the market. He gets you in at a cheap price and gets you huge multiples on your money, and it's how he structures the trade that's so unique. It's something you have to kind of see to understand, and that's another reason we give you that 7-day free trial. We also started a challenge account where we put $4,000 into an account, trading mini ES futures, averaging 3 to 4% gains per week, showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, we would love to have you in these rooms so we can all make money together. Key takeaways for today. We're looking for the ES to kind of hold where it's at and start a pullback. Much higher than that, we'd be targeting 4120 in the triangle. And then above that, 4,200 high would be a very strong confirmation. We're on our way to 4,300 plus in a C wave up. Over on the NASDAQ, we are looking for them to hold about the 12,350 area at most, then look for a wave 2 pullback into support that holds support. Then we'd be looking for a move up from there. However, if they do move straight through 12,350, then it is an indication we could already be in wave 3 on the NASDAQ, heading up towards 14,000 from there. The last thing to consider is support early March. If we break those lows, that's a strong indication we're in a bigger sell-off to the downside. Guys, that is the market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.